Perry A., thanks for being with us.
Well, thank you for asking.
I still think, Perry, that you probably were my favorite guest from this past year. We had you on 7 or 8 months ago, and I call you the dessert lady. I'm not sure what you call yourself. I think you call yourself a dessert analyst, don't you?
Yes.
And what does that mean?
Well, it means I've been able to ascertain a method by which to look at personality traits in the characteristics of a dessert. So if you answer the question, if you were a dessert, what would you be? With the first thing that comes to mind, I can nail you to the wall on how you function in life, your personality traits.
Where did you develop this?
Well, it came about from the fun side. I didn't set out to do this, but I was hospitality chairman for my speaker association and in charge of introductions, and they wanted to know something fun about people besides what they do for a living. So each week I would have to come up with a new topic. If you were a bird, what kind of bird would you be?
Sure.
If you were an ingredient on a pizza, what would you be? Which, incidentally, is my second book, Icebreaking 101, Getting to Know You in One Fun Question. I have 300 of these questions. I developed so many of them, I just made them into a book. Teachers love this. It's just great for stirring up party ideas and stimulating fun with strangers. So this was one of the questions, and I realized that people are a reflection of their choices in life. You know, if I say you're a ball and you say a beach ball, I know you're kind of fun and light and bouncy and colorful. If you say you're a hard ball, I go, oh, boy. And I could just really begin to see that, and I would see people in their desserts. Then I would meet somebody that was just utterly fascinating. I would watch them and observe them, and I'd think, God, I wonder what dessert they'd be. I'd go over and ask them. They'd tell me, and I'd run home and I'd write it in my computer. And I would, across from it, I would have their personality traits. And I began to realize that certain traits of the dessert meant certain things in a personality. There was a conformity there. So it just kind of bubbled up from the fun side.
And really, now that I think of it, you really could take that beyond just desserts to other foods as well, right?
Yes.
For instance,
if someone really studied it, we could probably apply it to everything, because we're
right.
all reflections of our choices in life.
Right. Like, what's your favorite fruit, or what's your favorite breakfast?
Yeah.
We have 3 hungry WHO employees sitting across the glass from me eating, and they're eating coffee cake, I think. Amy made it this morning and brought it in. Amy, what are you eating in there? Amy, you're on the air. She's licking her fingers right now, by the way. But what are you eating in there? She made something.
Streusel cake. You just hear Jeneane go, mmm.
Is it good?
Yeah,
That's
is
from
really.
a box, right?
It's a box mix,
So
yeah, but it's good.
Perry, what does that say that these 3 ravenous employees...
You're just jealous because you don't get me.
You're right, because I'm not eating. What does it say that they love streusel cake in the morning?
Well, it says it's Saturday and they want to play, and they're just going to be playful and give their soul a lift today.
You're right. They like a little bit of flair, right? Well, that's great. I think you hit it right on the head.
Actually, the cake is, if they chose this to be, notice the cake is very absorbent. People who are and cake rises, right? These people are high-rising. They're achieving, striving, and going forward.
They also had to rise very early to come to work today, too, so that's part of it. You're still talking. I can hear you.
Well, I'm sorry I'm not there, and I'm glad they brought something, because yesterday I did a radio show in Austin, and I have a friend, the dessert queen, and she sent 2 luscious cakes that were immediately gobbled up by the whole studio.
Wow. So it really can apply to anything. It doesn't just have to be desserts, but you've taken it and turned it into a book called People Are Just Desserts. And then this new book that you have out called Icebreaking 101, Getting to Know You with One Fun Question. And what are some of those questions?
Well, we have fun questions. They're in categories like a classroom. You have history questions. If you were a river in South America, what would you be? If you were a body of water, if you were a continent, which one would you be? And we have questions on arts and literature, everything from Shakespeare to if you were a 50s movie, or if you were a favorite comedy radio show from the old days, you know. And then it goes into even home economics. They're your food categories. So if you were ingredient in a salad, what would you be?
Yeah,
and that's a fun one to play with.
It's also fun to do during the interview process. If you ever have to interview people for a job. I was on a search committee for a professor for our department, the communication department at Grandview College. And I remember asking all of the candidates, what's your favorite TV show and what kind of music do you listen to on the radio? And everybody else on the search committee thought that those were really odd questions and gave me a really hard time about it. But you know what? I discovered some things about people. Because sometimes people are afraid to admit some of those little personal things, and you can find out a lot about them.
Well, you get through their facade. There's no right or wrong answers, and they get comfortable, and they can just be an expression of who they are.
That's right.
And you notice some people are very serious about the other answers, and some lighten up more.
Mm-hmm. And so what are some of the give me a couple of the questions.
Well, one of my favorites
me.
with the women is, if you were an article in the Dallas Cowboy dressing room, what would you be? So far, a bar of soap is leading the way. And, of course, we'll let you guys be in the Dallas Cowboy cheerleader dressing room, right? And so we have a lot of fun with this. If you were a toothbrush, whose teeth would you brush?
Oh, weird.
Yeah, if you were a magazine, what magazine would you be? If you were a book. I did this with my kids at school as a school teacher, and I had an art class with no assignment, for 3 days. And so I said, draw your family as an object or symbol. Not as people, but it could be, and they were so creative. One of them came up with caps, like little hats. Mm-hmm. So everybody in the family was a different hat, and one of them was books, and then one of them were beverages, and we had a margarita and a can of beer and a Coca-Cola.
And you're saying that some of these questions really can be used as icebreakers in social settings?
I was at a banquet, a formal banquet. It was a military banquet, and I was sitting at the table with all these admirals and their wives. And, of course, the admirals were cross-talking over the little wives' heads about admiral stuff. Kind of boring, and it was just like talking to an engineer, and the rest of us weren't having much fun. So I picked a question and threw it around the table, and it was like close to Christmas time. If you were something Christmas, what would you be? We all went around the table. Our table started laughing and having fun, and we just broke up the whole, everybody else was kind of bored, and there were no longer admirals and their wives. We all were a commonality. We were all a contributing element. When we got through, we realized we had a whole Christmas theme.
Yeah.
We had the tree, the music, the Santa Claus, the angel, the package. Everybody was something different.
And you really knew each other, too.
But it all contributed to the whole. And this is the way we are in life. Whoever we are, whatever we are, is perfect for us, and our contribution gives to the whole. Now, as people, we put weight and meaning to what we are. If you're the CDO of a business, that means you're more successful. It just means you've spent more time being an expert and learning how to do something. But, I did a talk one time about what it took to get the banana in my banana nut muffin. And there was the dock loader, the person that had to plant the banana tree. Someone had to build the ship, and we had to get fuel for the ship, and we had to go out and cut wheat. So there were a lot of people involved in making that banana nut muffin. We took it through the hilt, and it was amazing that little sucker only cost 65 cents. Because there were a lot, and, it couldn't have come about without everyone. The dock loader was just, if the dock loader wasn't there to ship the bananas, we wouldn't have had any bananas for the banana nut muffin.
That's right.
And the loan from the president of the bank wouldn't have been necessary. So
you're a very interesting person. I don't think that way normally. So it's exciting to see you bring that to the public, because I think that helps us all think a little bit differently.
Well, some of the most successful people I know are not monetarily successful. One of them I know was a man who had 12 children. He was a sharecropper. All of his kids graduated from school, went on their own without help from home to get college degrees and be successful people. But what he did was he taught a man to fish rather than give a man to fish.
Right.
He taught his children to use their hands, to use their minds. And so many times we get caught up giving things to our kids, and we forget to lead them to the threshold of their own knowledge.
Yeah. Our guest is Perry A., the author of People Are Just Desserts and the new book, Icebreaking 101. And now we're going to open up our phone lines, because we want Perry A. to kind of analyze you. If you were a dessert, what would you be? Or if you want to answer us in terms of what your favorite dessert is, that's fine too. But Perry asks it this way: if you were a dessert, what dessert would you be? And I'm also going to award a parenting conference ticket this morning. If you can guess what my favorite birthday dessert is, and we'll analyze your desserts as we continue on WHO Radio, Des Moines news station, and we have have one of our newspersons here, Jeneane Beck, and this is Janeane's birthday. Happy birthday, Jeneane.
Thank you so much.
And, of course, we all associate cakes and pies and things like that with birthdays, so Janeane's coming in to have Perry A. Analyzer. Perry is the author of People Are Just Desserts. And, Perry, are you ready to do Jeneane?
Oh, I'd love to.
And, Jeneane, do we ask you how old you are today? Is that appropriate?
Yeah,
or?
that's okay. 25. That's not too
You're
old,
young,
is it?
yeah.
That's all right.
And,
Oh, you're a sweet young thing.
Perry, I thought the way I'd say it to Jeneane is if you had to pick one dessert today that you would really want on your birthday, what would that be?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, well, I think as a kid, my mom would make those bundt cakes. You remember those? And so it would be like a chocolate cake. And then in the center, she would have, I don't know, it was like cake, but it was white and it had coconut in it. And that was always a big treat because, you know, had that hidden center.
Yes.
And I like some coconut, but there has to be chocolate. If the cake doesn't have chocolate, I don't see the point.
So is it chocolate topping on
It's
it?
a chocolate cake, but see, then they have that little ring in the center of a bundt cake that can be something else.
Right.
And that would be white with coconut.
She's very specific, Perry.
I remember this cake well.
What does that say about her?
Well, notice that the cake, like we were talking about earlier, is high-rising. Janeane's a competitive person, always wanting to improve and grow. She's always reading or looking into something, wanting to go to the next level. She arrives at one place and she wants to know what's over the next hill. Chocolate has a tenacity about it. When she's on a task, she's like a dog on a bone. She likes to get things done. She wants to know what the goal is, what are the parameters that she's working with, and then get out of her way and let her get to it. Now, chocolate is also a boundary. You can't see through the dark, right?
Right.
Inside Jeneane, when you get to know her, when she really lets you in, there's a light, fluffy, sweet side in there that's unsuspecting. You just don't know it's there until you really get to know her. She doesn't expect. She's very private about it. She has her private side she's very private about, and she likes to plant surprises. She
What
likes
about the
to
little
make,
coconut part?
Yeah, well, that's what I'm getting to. That's the fun side and the surprise. She
Okay.
likes to keep life surprising. She likes to plan something special. She doesn't want to do just the common old thing. She wants to make it a little bit extra special.
Not
there.
that coconut doesn't mean she's nutty.
It means she's fun.
That's what everyone thinks around here. That
that's
would
what
be,
people. Oh, okay.
Yeah, that would.
Now, what I'm seeing is that Jeneane is such a playful, fun person that if she didn't have some self-discipline, the chocolate on the outside, she would just probably spend the whole life in a playful state.
Yeah.
Yeah. See the duty over desire? The desire is the white, the lightness, and then it's surrounded in duty.
Yeah, very interesting.
Isn't that
What do you
fun?
think, Jeneane?
I'd also say that you answer questions very specifically. You make decisions easily because you see life from black to white.
Yeah. Well, she's a good news person then. Those are good qualities for a news person.
Sure.
Absolutely.
As one of Janeane's friends, I'd like to say that she has her pegged.
She has me pegged. Uh-oh.
Good for you, Perry. You did it.
Well, thanks. That was
Thanks,
a lot
Jeneane.
of fun.
Well, I hope you have a great birthday
Thanks
today.
so much.
Yeah,
Thanks a lot.
Thanks for having me on. That
Okay.
was lots of fun.
Our guest is Perry A., the author of People Are Just Desserts. Let's go to the phone lines. And Betty from Des Moines, what's a dessert for you?
I love chocolate homemade ice cream.
Homemade ice cream. Now, notice she's very specific. She's a specific communicator. Betty gets a lot of things in life because she asks for them. She tells people specifically what she wants. She likes homemade chocolate. Now, again, the chocolate, when you're on a task, is really a tenacity. You stick with it. You're very loyal and dedicated, and you stay on task. Now, the ice cream takes the shape of whatever container it's in, right?
Right.
So you're very adaptable and moldable to different situations and different people. You get along well in all situations. And ice cream has no definite form. It's kind of scooped out there. So it goes 360. It tells me you're a creative person that's always looking for options.
Right.
You don't like to make decisions too far out because, wait a minute, you may not have checked all the possibilities.
So, Betty, you don't like anything in your chocolate ice cream, just plain chocolate,
Just plain chocolate homemade
as long as
ice
it's
cream.
homemade.
Yes,
Okay.
it has to be homemade.
Now,
I
that-
like the other two, but that's my favorite.
And Betty, I would say when you step into something new, notice the ice cream comes frozen, right, Steve?
That's right.
Right.
That you kind of chill out and you back off and you listen and you observe. You get very quiet and you're a wonderful listener and very observant. So you're checking out the scene.
I've been
You're
told
gathering.
Oh, she's been told that.
You're gathering
You're
the
okay,
facts.
Perry.
That's right. Isn't she great?
She
And
is.
you've
Yeah.
got to internalize it. Now, when you're in this state, nobody can force a decision on you because you'll walk away.
Right.
You have to internalize it, determine it's safe for you, and make your own decision. Of course, the good thing about ice cream is with time it melts. So if you throw something new at Betty, give it to her and shut the door and walk away. Because she's going to verbalize the right, the wrong, and go over it in her mind. And if you're there, you get to hear all this stuff, and it'll drive you crazy.
Wow.
That's great. Thanks a lot for calling, Betty.
You betcha. Thank you, Steve.
Okay. And Jane, what about a dessert for you?
One dessert is a friend's, and that is just plain ho-hos, but mine is the most decadent chocolate gooey cake or pie.
Okay, cake or pie, and it's gooey chocolate. Is this a layer cake?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, we've got two things going here. I've got to get a clear picture. Now, is the pie, does it have a meringue on top, or
No, it'd
is
be
it like
more
a
whipped
fudge
cream
pie?
and meringue, and it'd
Fudge.
be like a French silk pie, maybe.
Okay. Now, French silk pie has an elegance to it. It tells me you like to do things with a touch of class and sophistication and really look nice and kind of stand a little above. You like elegance. The pie is shaped. It goes to a point. So it tells me you want to know what the goal is. You want to know what the plans are. You kind of like a day planner. You like a schedule, and you like to know what's going on. And you're very good at keeping people on task. Now, you do have the light side up for all the world to see. The whiteness on top is a very light side. You're very comfortable and very content with who you are. You're the same from first bite to last. But underneath is a more serious nature that people don't often understand that you can get this serious.
Gosh, you're just hitting it right on the head. I can't believe this.
Yeah, and you have I hope they will take time to get to know you because you have a very deep side that's powerful. Now, you see life easily from black to white, so you have no trouble making decisions. It's either black or white.
Jane, what are some of the ingredients in that decadent gooey pie? Do you make this yourself?
No.
Where do you get it?
Anything that is chocolate and gooey and just looks, scrumptious, I'll eat it.
You're a chocoholic, right?
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, thanks for calling, Jane.
Thank you.
You can join
Bye.
us at 284-1040. The phone lines are lighting up. People want to be analyzed by Perry A. and Jack. You have a pie for Perry. Go ahead.
Good morning, Jack. I'm delicious.
Hold on. We're going to get you here. Go ahead.
Okay.
Gotcha,
Sounds
Jack.
like a load of hooey to me, but we'll try it.
It's not. We had her on once last February.
I did hear her one other time.
Every
I think Jan
person
had her on.
Every person said that.
Okay.
But that's all right. You can think that.
Okay, well, we'll try it. Cherry pie, but it's got to be made, the crust has got to be made with lard. It's got to be light and flaky, and we like real cherries in the middle, none of this canned stuff.
Okay,
That'll
notice a specific communicator. Jack knows what he wants in life, and he goes for it, and he doesn't settle for second best. He stays with his first choice, and he's very persistent in keeping on until he finds it and gets the way he likes it. How are we doing, Jack?
Well, you're hitting on the edge.
Is that a nice way of saying stubborn?
Now, the flakiness of the
Stubborn,
crust...
yes, I am stubborn.
The flakiness of the crust tells me that you like to keep life kind of fun. A little flaky. We're going to break off a little bit here. And the cherries are what? Red, high energy. You attract people, and cherries roll, right? So there's a roundness here that tells me that there's a lot of times you just kind of want to roll through life.
Yeah, you hit that one right.
And you like to draw people to you. You know, we're drawn to the red. Birds are drawn to the red. We like color. So you're a magnet attracting people, and you like to deal with people spontaneously. You don't want to script.
Right.
You'd
right.
rather
You're
just
right
let's see what's happened and enjoy what the outcome. So you could float gently down the river. You could go west on a vacation, and that would just be great. You just stop where you want to and enjoy. You don't like being too scheduled. It's considered limiting and takes away your sense of freedom.
Yes, I'll tell you what, you are right on the money. Amazing.
It's in the book, and it works. And, the essence of it is, Jack, that when we can understand each other and accept you just for what you are, and then allow you to be a full expression of yourself, and then I get to be a full expression of myself, something different, when we combine together, look at what more we are together.
Cherry pie and ice cream.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Sounds
I'm
like she
kinda
was
like
right,
you. I'm
Jack.
curious you believe.
Okay, well, thank you.
Okay, you believe her now, right?
You bet.
Thanks a lot. Winzenburg on the weekend on WHO Radio. This is Stephen Winzenburg, and we're going to go out to Van and Bonnie here in a moment. And then when they're done, I want to ask our guest Perrier about the new Van and Bonbon ice cream and see what she thinks about that. So let's hear from Van and Bonnie out at Eckerd's, and then we'll come back with our guest Perrier. Hi, Van and Bonnie. How you doing?
We're doing great. Have you talked to her about her name before? Maybe I just missed it. I mean, she has such an unusual name.
Well, her last name starts with the letter A, and so I think as she became an author, she decided just to call herself Perry A, and it kind of ties in with the whole food theme.
Yes, that's right. Well, I used to live in Perry.
Oh.
Perry, Iowa. That's right. Perry, I.
Van and Bonnie, stand by for just a second. We're going to have Perry analyze your great Anderson Erickson ice cream, okay? Perry, it's called Van and Bon. And Bonnie, why don't you describe it for Perry?
Okay, what it is it's a vanilla ice cream, premium vanilla ice cream.
That's the van.
That's the van. Then it has a fudge swirl in it, and then it's got 5 different kinds of bonbons in it. That's the Bonnie. And they have chocolate-covered peanut butter, chocolate-covered cherry, a fudge royale, which is a chocolate-covered fudge. They also have a chocolate-covered caramel bonbon and a chocolate-covered vanilla pecan bonbon.
So when you take a bite out of we just eat it right out of the carton.
Wow.
When you take a
Don't bother
bite,
with a
you
bowl.
never know which one you're going to
That's
get.
right.
See, so it makes it kind of fun.
So Perry, how would you analyze that?
The first thing I'd say was you dare to be different. You like to make life exciting and full of fun surprises. And you go the extra mile. You want to keep it different. A lot of times you have to go the long way around the track to keep life more exciting. You're extremely creative. You are out there in all possibilities, and often you get outside the box of limitations of what people think can be done. You dare to mix the unusual. You're very resourceful, and you like to make life full of sweet rewards for everyone.
Yep.
Fun is very important.
Yeah, that's very nice. The only one you missed is that we're extremely hungry.
And we like to eat a lot.
Even our
When
engineer out
are you
here.
going to send that down to Texas?
That's a good idea, yeah. Well, thanks, Van and Bonnie. We'll talk. And let's go to the phone lines again. Glenn, you've been waiting for a while. Why don't you let Perry analyze your dessert?
I love peach pie and homemade vanilla ice cream.
Ooh, peach pie people are very spicy, right? Notice the peach, you can't bite into it and not respond. You're the type of person that doesn't let a dead dog lie. You just kind of want to get in their mind and invigorate them and stir them up a little bit, and life doesn't get boring around you. You're high energy, and there's a cinnamon flakiness or cinnamon throughout the peach pie that tells me here again a sense of humor is very valuable to you in all you do. And the ice cream on top is giving a little something extra. And here's the cautious analyzer side of you. You look at life and you want to begin from the... Are we got static here?
That's okay. He's on a cell phone. So.
Okay. And you look at life, you want to gather the facts. You kind of like to know what the plan is and the organization is. How are we doing? Yeah.
Very well.
And the ice cream is the analytical side of you, that your cautious approach to things until you gather those facts and internalize them. You kind of like to do it on your own. Some things you need to take home and mull over a little bit before you make a decision.
Glenn, where do you get the homemade vanilla ice cream?
At home.
I mean, you make it yourself?
Sure.
It just doesn't taste quite the same as the store-bought?
Not at all.
Never.
Wow.
And it's better with raw milk, right, Lynn?
That's right.
Uh-huh.
Thanks for calling, Glenn.
Thank you.
Suzanne, what's your favorite dessert for Perrier?
It's a made-from-scratch 4-layer German chocolate cake with lots of nuts and lots of coconut.
Oh, Dan, you'll be happy to know that you're right in line with Troy Aikman, the quarterback of the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I don't know if he was quite as specific as you. I noticed here again we have another specific communicator. These people really get ahead in life because they know what they want, and they tell you.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's the ask and you shall receive world. We love to help people and give them what they want, and some of us kind of don't know what we want. But Jan knows what she wants.
It's Suzanne.
Suzanne. I'm sorry.
Now,
Suzanne.
what does the 4 layers tell you about
The
her?
4-layer tells me she's high achieving, striving, and arriving. She wants to go. She likes structure and organization. She likes keeping things neatly together. She's a manager and a matriarch pulling things together. She goes to a point. She stays on task. She keeps other people around her. But she also has to have fun in life.
What does
the
all the
coconut
nuts?
and the nuts
Yeah.
scattered through there, it tells me she has a value for fun. Rather than being a dark chocolate, the German chocolate is a lighter chocolate, so she takes life a little bit lighter.
Is that true, Suzanne?
Exactly.
Oh, she's got you pegged.
Yeah.
Good job. Thanks,
Thank
Suzanne.
you.
Thanks for
Bye-bye.
calling. And Joan, what's your dessert that you want to ask Perry about?
Good morning.
Hi.
Well, I'll tell you, if I have my choice, it's chocolate cake with chocolate frosting. I'm also a lover of whipped cream.
Okay, but on this one we just have chocolate cake with chocolate ice cream.
Because really those are 2 different things, right,
Oh, I
Perry?
know that.
Yeah.
Are you going to put the whipped cream on top?
No.
Okay, now is this like a 2 or 3 a layer chocolate cake or a flat one?
It really doesn't make any difference.
Okay,
Just so I get a good-sized piece.
Joan is more generalist rather than specific. She's
Right.
very easygoing. She's adaptable. She goes along with whatever. If you want to show her, serve her a triple layer, that's fine. If you want to make it a loaf cake, that's fine too. The chocolate is what's important, and that'll work for her. She's very adaptable with people. She also has an inquisitive side. She wants to know more. She's a seeker of knowledge and going through. Now, the chocolate is a little dark and you can't see through it, so I'd say you have a private side to you that a lot of people don't know about. They have to kind of get to know you before they, you're just not really transparent, which is an honorable protective boundary and barrier. And the chocolate icing, there's a richness there, and chocolate is a flavor that lasts. After you eat the ingredient, the chocolate flavor stays. It's kind of like peanut butter. It sticks to the roof of your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd say you make a lasting impression on people. You're very loyal and dedicated. You stick to what you want to do.
But a little bit of a dark outside, though.
Well, I do like dark chocolate for candy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
and that's okay.
That's interesting.
Chocolate people sometimes like to get off by themselves.
Yeah. Is that you, Joan?
An awful lot of it is.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
One more call here before we have to let Perry go. Ruth from Pleasant Hill, what's your dessert?
Hello.
Hi.
I like strawberry shortcake.
Oh, Ruth, I'm so glad I got a strawberry shortcake person today, because you're everybody's cheerleader, aren't you?
Well,
You really like to encourage people.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, you're very a loyal, dedicated friend. You stay with your friends, you stay in touch with them, and you want to cheer them on and really encourage them to go for life and to have fun. You're spontaneous and free-flowing. The strawberries are red, attracting, mouth-watering, and a lot of seeds there. You want to plant seeds. You want to plant that encouragement in them. The whipped cream is soft and free-flowing, and it makes you feel good. There again, you like to make people feel good. And the cake foundation is that absorbent side. You have a fun, inquisitive side. When you were a child, you probably ask all these questions like, what do they wear in heaven? Things like that.
I don't remember that.
Where do lizards go when they die?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
But rather than go with the
yeah.
plan, you're free-flowing and spontaneous.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks a lot,
you.
Ruth. Well, we didn't have anybody guess my favorite birthday dessert. Perry, I'll let you analyze me quick.
Okay.
Every birthday, my mom had to make cheesecake with a graham cracker crust and blueberry topping.
Oh, well, here again we have a specific communicator. And let me tell you something about cheesecake people, Steve. They're wonderful. They can take details.
Oh, you're only saying that.
No, I've got a cheesecake person in my life. He's my model, and I, adore him. So I really have a great respect for who you are. You can take details. You eliminate what's not necessary, and you come up with the rich cream concentrate.
What about the blueberries on top?
The blueberry on top are something extra. You like to give a little lagniappe, and here's your free-flow side. There's part of you that stays very dedicated, on task, and goes to the point. You're a completion person. You like to get things done. And then we have a little paradox on top of the blueberries, which are spontaneous and free-flowing.
Yep, you're right.
Yeah, and so occasionally we get duty over desire, and we want to go play, but we got to stick to duty.
Well, you're just great. Perrier is the author of People Are Just Desserts, and the new one is called Ice Breaking 101. All those questions, fun questions, where you can ask folks and get the conversation going.
Thanks, Steve.